Mars has always been Elon Musk's top priority dream and goal, which he always mentions anywhere and at any time. To achieve said goal, Elon and his company SpaceX are building the Starship system to send humans to colonize the Red Planet in the coming decades. Does this mean that the shared goal by Musk and SpaceX is in danger? And how could the new discoveries put an end to the Martian colonization effort? However, NASA is in big trouble. Its International Space Station is scheduled for retirement in 2030, so the national agency is looking for alternatives in the private sector. You know what I mean? All this and more in today's episode.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of my channel.
Accordingly, a number of contracts have been signed through the Space Act Agreement to develop commercial space stations. But perhaps due to haste, NASA did not choose partners carefully, leading to wasting time and money on unsustainable projects. Well, I'm referring to a $130 million contract from NASA for design work on the Orbital Reef Space Station led by Blue Origin and Sierra Space. However, the project is showing collapse as the two companies no longer want to cooperate. And then, to add insult to injury, China announced it would double the size of its Tiangong space station, providing an alternative to the ISS. But amid that dark context, there has emerged a new player in the commercial space station game, a perfect partnership that promises to save NASA. They are Vast and SpaceX. Under the Space Act Agreement, the couple aims to establish the world's first privately owned outpost and beyond. This is Haven 1, a habitation module designed by aerospace newcomers Vast, which is considered the world's first commercial space station. This free-flying module will be launched by SpaceX's workhorse Falcon 9, scheduled for no earlier than August 2025. Haven 1 will initially act as an independent crewed space station prior to being connected as a module to a larger Vast space station currently in development. The module is 10.1 meters long and 3.8 meters in diameter, meaning it is sized to fit the standard Falcon 9 payload fairing. The 14-ton module will provide 70 cubic meters of pressurized volume, and its 4 solar arrays will generate 15 kilowatts of power. This delivery mission is estimated to be a challenge for Falcon 9, as Haven 1 is one of the heaviest payloads deployed by the vehicle and its position in LAO will be slightly higher than that of the ISS, about 310 miles above the surface. However, that is not a big problem for SpaceX as well as the Vast development team. Over the operational years, Falcon 9 has built for itself an impressive profile, including completing 270 missions by far, smashing records many times, and being trusted by a massive national agency like NASA. That's why Vast chose the Falcon 9 not only to lift the heavy module, but also to serve the logistics of operating a rudimentary space station. Indeed, SpaceX is providing Vast with the use of a Crew Dragon space capsule along with the SpaceX flight suits and even astronaut training for Vast customers. All serve for Vast 1, the first human spaceflight mission to Haven 1 on a SpaceX Dragon spacecraft. Atop on the workhorse rocket, the vehicle and its 4-person crew will be sent to and docked with Haven 1 for up to 30 days while orbiting Earth. So, this leads to a question: how will a crew of 4 people live for up to 30 days while its own Haven is not a self-sustaining habitat? Yeah, it's where Dragon comes in. The module will pair with the capabilities that SpaceX has already developed for Crew Dragon. The spacecraft will be at least partially responsible for providing life support systems to the Haven module in addition to water and other services needed to keep humans alive. Besides, the Dragon also adds another 10 cubic meters of pressurized volume to the station and a couple extra windows. Well, that's all very cool and practical, but the really exciting thing here is Vast's mission for the future. After Haven 1 and other possible Falcon 9 class modules, Vast is planning to launch in 2028, a bigger space station module relying on SpaceX's fully reusable Starship Super Heavy lift rocket. This is an important step towards the development of a 100-meter-long spinning stick space station that provides various gravitational environments, including Earth, Mars, Moon, and asteroid gravities. The spinning stick station will accommodate up to 40 astronauts and is scheduled to be launched in the late 2030s. In a longer-term project, Vast aims to operate dozens of artificial gravity and zero-gravity space stations across our solar system. More astonishingly, this insane invention will be formed by 7 Starship-class modules. Starship is well known by the title of the largest rocket ever built in the world, owning top-notch competitive advantages such as modern design, high-cadence launch, and inexpensive cost per launch. Clearly, This gigantic rocket will be a perfect choice for vast aiming at the goal of supporting billions of people living in space across the entire solar system. By taking advantage of resources taken from distant asteroids, moons, and planets, humans will partly solve problems related to natural resource shortages and climate change taking place on Earth. Vast strategy compared to those of its competitors is splendid in its simplicity. Blue Origin, Northrop Grumman, Voyager Space, and Axiom want to build multi-module commercial space stations from the very start. The Russians took 10 years, from 1986 to 1996, to fully deploy and assemble the Mir space station. The International Space Station began its assembly in 1998. And even though the orbiting laboratory was officially completed in 2011, it is still very much a work in progress. The Chinese Tiangong started assemblage in 2021 and currently consists of 3 modules with more on the way. History suggests assembling a multi-module commercial space station could take years, of course, with the support of versatile launch vehicles such as the Falcon 9 and Starship could shorten that time. For Elon Musk, long-term cooperation on this mission will greatly support him in his Mars colonization dream. Imagine how convenient everything would be if there were outposts in space to resupply Mars with humans and materials. Not only will this partnership benefit both private companies, but it also promises to foster innovation and advance the future of human spaceflight. This is one of NASA's ultimate goals when introducing the Space Act agreements. Referring to Starship's potential to become a new type of space station in Elio, Chad Anderson, founder and managing capital of Space Capital, during a session of the Financial Times Investing in Space conference on June 2023 said, SpaceX's Starship is so large and also so cost-effective that it could be a station itself. An example he gave was a hotel company outfitting the interior of Starship for customers. They could launch a group of people and stay however long they want with the accommodations they want, and they could do it all for less than the cost of one seat to the space station today. In the past, proposals for space stations were based on the external fuel tank, which would have been challenging to construct. However, the steel construction of SpaceX Starships offers ease in welding, cutting and modifying, making the construction process more manageable. As a result, the development of space stations becomes more feasible and cost-effective. With plenty of volume available within the Starships, supplies can be stacked around the hull, which provides additional radiation protection. Even with 1-meter-thick shielding, a 900 cubic meter volume would retain 90% of its interior space, offering substantial living and working areas for the astronauts. One of the remarkable advantages of SpaceX Starships is their affordability. With a price tag of approximately $2 million per Starship, a fleet of 50 Starships would only cost $1 billion. Such a space station, with a volume 100 times greater than the ISS, could accommodate up to 350 people, based on the standards set by the ISS. It is worth noting that the ISS was originally designed to support 7 people, but temporarily hosted a record of 9 individuals during a handover in 2009. With that in mind, a space station based on giant Starships, with a capacity of 450 occupants during surges, would be super cost-effective, with an estimated total cost of around $2 billion. And the result, space travel will no longer remain exclusive to billionaires. Instead, it will become an opportunity accessible to folks from all walks of life. But, despite all the preparations, it may disappear because recently, several NASA studies have shown that previous discoveries about Mars were inaccurate. They contain many extremely dangerous problems that could affect and even end the Martian colonization project in which Musk and SpaceX are so eagerly preparing for. Among the celestial bodies that humans are currently aiming for, Mars is also the planet receiving a lot of attention. After discovering the planet, many people believe this was a potential home away from home that humans could migrate to in the future. It's quite understandable. Mars is one of the planets closest to Earth. It has many characteristics similar to our planet. In particular, there are areas of prominent white ice at the poles of Mars, which is believed to contain water, an important resource for building any new civilization. But in order to ensure living on this planet is possible, research will need to be done beforehand. Currently, agencies have many research missions working on this planet. However, many studies have shown that this planet is not as peaceful as we may have thought. In fact, many problems have been presented that could even affect the plans involving settling on Mars, including the one that Musk and SpaceX are carrying out. The problem was first discovered by NASA's InSight lander. In November of 2018, InSight launched a mission to explore the geology of Mars. After it arrived on Mars, it conducted studies and seemed to successfully determine the planet's internal structure. However, during its work, InSight detected many large earthquakes. In just its first 8 months of work, it recorded more than 170 earthquakes. By 2022, InSight had recorded more than 1,000 more earthquakes. These earthquakes, or Marsquakes, I should say, are strong, creating large vibrations that can cause landslides. Earthquakes are one of the most dangerous natural disasters in the world. On Earth, they also happen regularly. Each earthquake can cause huge damage to people and property. Although technology has now become more developed, allowing us to predict earthquakes, the damage they cause has not been completely resolved yet. This causes difficulties for SpaceX's settlement plans on the planet. If we want to avoid the effects of this natural disaster, we must choose spacious and flat areas to build our bases. However, such places have another danger. The Martian atmosphere is much thinner than Earth's, and it also does not have an ozone layer to prevent dangerous radiation from the sun. Radiation rays are very dangerous agents that can cause effects on human health as well as physical facilities. If we want to avoid those effects, we must choose higher and more enclosed places such as canyons and valleys. But this is a dangerous place if earthquakes and landslides do occur. Once an earthquake or landslide happens, all bases and people can be buried. More importantly, our facilities are still not enough to accurately collect and predict this disaster on Mars. Therefore, Mars colonization missions will probably be extremely risky. The second discovery is related to the mission of the Curiosity rover. Recently, Curiosity has collected important discoveries about the planet. These are erosion marks near craters on Mars. They are believed to be traces of ancient rivers on the planet. This is a sign that life may have existed on the planet. If this is the case, then why is it an issue? It's mainly because when we go to Mars, we will certainly also find safe places to live. This is also probably where those lives exist. More appearance may unintentionally affect the habitat of those extraterrestrial beings. More vigorous activities like exploitation and construction can cause negative impacts on life that may exist on Mars, even causing them to disappear. Additionally, those life particles can also directly endanger our lives. These can be just small entities like bacteria or even viruses, but we cannot ignore this. If they still exist today, it means they have lived for millions of years under the harshness of Mars and evolved into extremely dangerous entities. When establishing a settlement here, we will often come into contact with them. Gradually, they can cause damage to our health. Bacteria and viruses are very dangerous entities. They are the agents that cause many pandemics in human history. Now, we don't know anything about those strange entities, and it's a danger that we cannot control or resolve immediately if it actually occurs. Those are the problems with the current Mars colonization plan that SpaceX is pursuing. But besides the two aforementioned dangerous new challenges, SpaceX also has to deal with many other problems, first of which is the Starship's current capability. Even though Starship is the world's largest and most powerful rocket, reaching Mars will still be a challenge for it right now. It still needs to prove its capabilities in orbital test launches first. But this is not an easy task, and SpaceX is still struggling to find a way to solve it. And even if it succeeds, it will still have to do it many times in order to prove its reliability before being allowed to operate, at least with humans. But if those problems are resolved, SpaceX will deal with new challenges. The road to Mars is indeed very long. But for us humans, we are going to be different because we can actually pull this off. And although Musk's desires and plans seem crazy and have many obstacles, we should still respect what he and his company are doing. It all just comes from the goal of helping humans continue to survive in the universe. Hopefully, Musk and his talented crew of engineers and researchers, along with those around the globe, can come up with solutions to solve these problems that I presented to you today soon. In order to help us be more confident about what Musk and his company are doing. And for you, how do you feel about the problems that the Mars colonization plan presents? Do you believe that Musk and SpaceX are able to solve them in the future? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Otherwise, folks, that's about it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, and that's all for today's update. If you enjoyed watching and found it useful, please make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. By the way, are you familiar Tok Philippines app? Tok is a delivery service app designed to connect more people by delivering items door to door. For more information, download the Tok app, here down below.